Welcome, viewers, to another episode of the Nightcap program. This episode, I promise, will be epic. Yes, it will be very engaging and enlightening. Also, I'm sure you're going to walk away with a lot of lessons that will help you in the future, in the present as well. My name is Charlene Clark. You are your host for today's show, Endeavor Show. Yes. And today I have a lovely guest with us in the house. We're going to be discussing a number of things surrounding, of course, when we talk about parenting and parenting styles, and we're talking about what is the best way, how do we engage our children. So our topic for today is parenting skills, values, and styles. Are parents responsible for their children's behavior? Now, you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to miss this beautiful discussion. But I must remind you that my guest today hails from India. And of course, this show is a pre-recorded show. So unfortunately, we won't be able to take your calls today. But of course, we will be behind the scene to answer any questions you might have. So put your questions right here in the chat box. We're here. Yes. Right here, yes, in the chat box, and we will be more than willing to respond to your questions and to give you those well-needed answers that you might be seeking. Please don't go anywhere. When we return with our very special guest. Yes, this is the Nightcap Show, and we will start just in a few minutes. Yes. All right. Thank you for sticking and staying. And here I introduce our guest for today's show, Jyoti Singh. Jyoti Singh is the founder of Enlightened Parenting Club. She is a certified parenting coach, a motivational speaker, a mother. She also hosts a program called The Mind Tricks by Jyoti on the YouTube channel, and she is a lifelong learner. She talks about parenting, self-worth, parenting with love, and she knows that every child is unique. Therefore, she is more than qualified to sit here today to talk to us a little bit about parenting. But let me allow Jyoti Singh to introduce herself to you and tell you a little bit about herself. Jyoti, welcome to the Nightcap program. I'm so happy to be in your presence today.
Thank you so much, Sheldon, for the beautiful introduction. I really love your music. And it's like I think we are meeting for the first time, but we have that, soul sister connection somewhere down the line. I feel like very much connected to you. So thank you so much for inviting me for the show. And yes, I'm Jyoti Singh from India, and I'm a certified parent coach. But apart from that, I'm a mother, and I'm very much passionate about motivating kids, to have self confidence, self esteem. So I do take motivational sessions for school students and help them to develop self confidence and self esteem. Because somewhere down the line, I feel that is the most important thing that a student should have. And
Mhm.
apart from that, yes, I'm a YouTuber, and I do post motivational videos and my parenting learning on my channel. So do check it out. And I started my yeah. So I usually initially I was figuring out how do I raise my son with love and logic. But then I went through all this learning process, and this really gave me a new lens to see the life. And then I realized this is something which I need to, spread the message to the world. So I started my mission to, to empower parents to help them to raise their kids with love and affections.
And that came from you becoming a mother and having to raise a
Absolutely.
child yourself. And so you had some lessons. Well, you learned some lessons that you decided to share with mothers, parents, as a matter of fact, as how to raise your child effectively.
Yes, because as a new parent, I was struggling with lot many things. The times have changed. When we see the traditional parenting and modern parenting, there's a drastic shift in the styles and everything.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
when I saw, I really wanted to know. Yes, I scolded my son, and at night I used to be, that regret, and I used to feel a lot of tears in my eyes. That why did I raise my voice there? Why did I raise my hand? And that guilt used to, make me sink. And then I
Right.
realized, let me learn more about parenting, how to deal with children, about student emotional needs and everything. And then I went to all the process of learning and everything. I got my certification for the toddler, and then I decided to do it for teens, mid schoolers. I completed all my pre-level. And then it really gave me a new lens, new learning how to deal with the children, because they're just like a fresh flower, It's up to us how we provide them the environment, how we nurture them, how do we water them. Like if we overwater them, they are going to get spoiled. There has to be a
Yes.
balanced approach that we have to maintain, and that's what is parenting all about.
Wow. You make it sound easy, Jyoti. Honestly, you make it sound easy. But since it was your son who empowered you to start this journey, when before you learned these, important ways or methods to include whenever you're engaging your child, before you got here, what did your parenting style that you had prior, how did it impact yours upon your son?
Absolutely. So initially, yes, I was not that tough parent. I was very kind to my son, but there were at times when I was instructing him, not to do that. That was around, I think, when he was 2 and a half year old. That was his exploring phase. They just
Right.
explore. They just don't want to listen to anybody. And at that time, I used to feel quite helpless. Why he's not listening to me? How can I stop him? How can I control him? And
Right.
these little things used to put pressure on me, like how do I deal with my son? I don't want him to get very rigid also. I don't want him to ignore his parents' voice when we are communicating to him. So then when I went through all this learning and process, I realized there are few couple of effective way how do we communicate with our child. It's like every
Right.
time we are commanding him, don't do this, don't do that, they're not going to listen, because little children, the brains are developing and growing. So, when we
Mm-hmm.
command, when don't, when we use negation, they ignore the negation and catch the next stuff. If I say don't run, he will not listen, understand, don't. It's very complicated for them to understand. So it's
Right.
very easy if you give them a clear instruction that can you be slow? or instead of stop yelling, don't yell, can you use a softer tone, that will help them
Right.
to understand, the brain, it's very easy to, recall the things, what my parents are communicating to me. So these little things, how to communicate, how to be patient with toddler, because toddlers are going to act like toddlers, and we
Right.
parents often lose our patience, So
Mhm.
lot many things, self-control. I think this is the one important lesson I learned in my life is like self-control, because I think it's a very crucial part of parenting. Most of the time, we parents lack self-control, and then we blame our kids. They are pushing a button or they are triggering us. With the behavior. But I think it's more of us. How do we get mindful about our emotions, our feelings, and everything? So I strongly feel, self-control is a biggest factor in parenting. How we train.
Parenting.
Yeah,
Now, let us get real a little bit, because I know some parents are listening now and saying, well, Jyoti is living in the makeup world. So let me create the real world
yeah.
for discussion. So what do you say to a parent who is in the supermarket with her child or his son, and that child wants something off the shelf? The parent decided that that is not something that we're going to buy today. We didn't come to buy this. You don't need this, and it's a no. And the child create a tantrum there and then. I mean, loud, on the
Yeah,
floor, crying, screaming, yelling, I hate you. What do you say to a parent, who is going through that moment? Because I believe most of the times when parents lose their patience, it's because of situation like that. No, tell me,
absolutely.
how can a parent with love and patience in a situation like that?
Yeah, this is a beautiful question, Shirley. I think this is the story of every home. I think most of the kids go through this phase, wherein they show tantrums, especially in public places. Because a child knows that if I throw it in public place, if I throw tantrums or, if I yell out of shame, my parents is going to buy out the things for me, They know the trick very well. Our kids are smarter than us. So for that, I think we need to make a proper flow. How what I personally recommend parents is like whenever your child demand anything, don't do any impulsive buying for your child. Take a
Mm-hmm.
pause, put it into the process. For example, if my son says me, Mama, I need a candy. I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'll first of all check with your father whether we actually need to get candy for you. I'll take, we both are going to have discussion and maybe in
Mm-hmm.
a week time, we'll try to get you if it is a necessity for you. So, put them into the process instead of, buying impulsive, like immediate buying. Because once we do that, child, his mind functions that way, I'm going to, once I demand, I'm going to get the thing. If I demand, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to get this. Because
Mm-hmm.
most of us are doing, because we feel that uh, at during our past time, if during in our childhood we were, deprived of all this, luxuries and everything. So we don't want our kids to, feel that way. We want to give him the best of the utilities, best of the accessories, gadgets, stationaries when they are in their childhood phase. So what I personally recommend parents, put them into process. Don't buy anything, out of love and affection. Yes, we want to give to our child, but let them know that mama will talk to daddy, and then they are going to decide whether they are going to buy this or not. And this thing will take slowly and gradually. Your child would understand, okay, it's not like my parents are immediately going to buy things for me. I have to
Right.
learn to wait. And by this, they are going to develop some patience. Yes, there is a process, maybe a 2 day or 3 day time wherein my parents will buy this for me. So I usually
Mm-hmm.
follow this process wherein my son knows, how to be calm, how to be patient. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not like something immediately we are going to buy out for him. So
Mm-hmm.
parents, don't be disheartened. You can start implementing now also. It's never too late, because even I was unaware about such process and everything. Once you put them into the process, communicate with them. Communicate with the toddler. This, yes, if you need something, you can tell mommy and daddy, but we'll decide and then we'll see whether you need it or not. And if you need it,
You'll
It's
get it.
actually need. Yeah, you will get it, but after a 2 or 3 days span of time, it's not something
Right.
immediate we are going to buy it out. And then slowly and steadily, he will learn this little,
This
patience
method,
and
right?
when we talk about tantrums in public places, my dear parents, don't be, feel shame of this. A child is going to act like a child. We
Mm-hmm.
all want, and we blame ourselves. Oh, because of us, he's doing so. It's not like that. Toddlers, they can act in any way, just to make the demands fulfilled. So, don't be ashamed of them. Acknowledge your child feeling. You can take your child, put him into the car, and have a conversation. Like, I know you are upset. I'm not buying this thing for you. You can calm down and talk to me. What actually we can do about it? Because we are going to follow this process. Be firm with your rules and everything. Because once you start negotiating, your child will make you negotiate each and every time. That yes, it has to be work on my way.
I
So I
know,
think
I can tell
we
you
need to
that.
be quite firm about our rules and everything. And in public places, take your child away, get out of the store, make him calm, make him relax, and don't react because kids are going to constantly push a button. It's like, stay calm because
Mhm.
that's how, if we react, what are we modeling to our kids? He will also learn few minutes later he will also raise his voice, know that I want this and he'll throw tantrum. Let him see that my parents are not reacting, they are calm, and slowly and steadily give him some time. He will calm down surely.
You know, that was so, as a mother myself, like you, Jyoti, that was something that I prayed would never happen. The tantrum in public, I prayed about it. The moment I knew I was pregnant, I began praying about that because I've seen too many before, becoming a mother. I've seen too many times I myself had to intervene to help the parent, and
Heaven,
sometimes it
yeah.
works, the child would listen because I'm doing opposite from what the parent is doing. And when I became pregnant, about to become a mother, every night I pray, please God, do not give me a child who will throw a tantrum in public because even though I've helped other parents dealing with it, no, it's mine. And I was
My,
fearful of that. God listened, and I should say, thank you, Lord. That has never happened.
oh, that's wonderful.
But one of the things that I used to share with parents who had problems was also discuss with the child before you go to the supermarket as well, to say, well, then let
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
child help you to make the supermarket list as well. Say, well, then today is supermarket day and these are the things that we're going to purchase. Let's make a list together. No, if it's not on the list, it's not needed. Or if it is something that you want, we're not going to purchase it today. We'll purchase it another time and based on need, like you say. So if you
Yeah.
recognize that you have that child who like to throw a tantrum because when they're in the supermarket, no, they're seeing all these beautiful things and they want everything, then you have to start the discussion from home. And like you say, gradually they will change. But to be in the public space and to be shouting and dragging them and pulling them, it's only going to get worse. And you
I think,
also
yeah,
go ahead.
you very
Go
well
ahead.
said, Sherlyn, that, make a supermarket list with your kids. I think because that's a fantastic way. The child can also learn a self-control because once
Self
they go in
control.
supermarket, yeah, they see all the favorite biscuits, candies, and everything, and they want, Mama, just get me one thing. So,
Right.
from there we can teach them self-control very well. Once they know, yes, we are going to buy out only this stuff. Maybe
Mhm.
next time we'll check about your stuff. So
And
yeah,
if you
self-control.
train the child like that, listen, and we're sharing, your mother, I am a mother. You just shared that because of how you used to raise your son and it wasn't working. You're now empowering parents. You've learned some lesson. No, my child, when we go to the supermarket and when he was younger, he used to pick up stuff. Can I have this? May I have this? And I would say no. Okay, mommy. He never threw a tantrum. Now when we go to the supermarket, I just stand one side, he has the basket, and I say go to the aisle, pick up the important stuff. I remember once when he came with the basket, he's 9, he could hardly
Okay.
lift the basket. And when he placed it on the counter, snacks galore, a lot of snacks, all these things, some things I could not pronounce the names. And I'm like, where did you get those things? So I said to him, listen, this is the amount of money that we have. This is what we're going to spend. I am going to help you to dissect. And
Very good.
I'm
Wonderful.
talking about this cashiers and other parents in the supermarket now looking at me, because this is, so they were expecting that this child was going to. And when I was through, I said, all these other items, take them and place them back on the shelf where you got
Yeah.
them. So one of the cashiers said, no, mommy, I will do it. I said, no, 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 no. Allow him to do it. And he went back and he placed them neatly. They were like, what? How did you do that? But it's how you engage the child, and it
Engage the
also
child.
teach them how to become responsible as well.
Absolutely
I have this,
wonderful. Yeah.
I have this question for you, Jyoti. Do you believe that the parent's behavior also impacts upon the child as well?
Yeah,
How
I
does the
absolutely
parent
believe.
behavior, in terms of the child's grooming and development, how does the parent's behavior play that role in the child's
Yeah.
development?
Yeah, I think it play a very crucial role, Charlene, because as I said earlier, there were at times like before getting into parenting and everything, learning about parenting. Whenever I used to raise my voice, there were very few times, when I used to lose my control and everything, and then, I used to yell on my top of my voice. My
Yes.
little son also used to, enact similarly, no, mama, we are not going there. I was really ashamed when, when I saw the way I'm raising my voice, he was also raising his voice equally. And when I use softer and calmer tone, now I see him, whenever if something he has committed some mistake also, he'll come back to me and he'll apologize. Because even I apologize when I make some mistake, it's okay. And but most of the parents think like, we are superior, we are the boss, we are not supposed to apologize with our kids. So these little things matters a lot. When I see I do some mistake, if I still, after learning about parenting, also there are at times I do have a hard day. I'm not physically well. Sometimes, you feel very irritated with small
Drained.
little stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's okay. I just tell my son, but I'm really sorry. I'm not, in a position to listen to your talk. Maybe we can connect after 1 hour. I'm really sorry for that. And then he allowed me. He gave me the space. It's okay, Mama. Take your time. You can take some rest and then we can connect. So I think it's very important. How do we communicate with our child? And because
Mhm.
they are going to enact same physical, like the way we act. And another thing is they also catch, especially with the toddlers, they catch our body language. How do we walk?
Yes.
How do we
Mm-hmm.
talk with our friends?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially, suppose if my husband once got a call from his friend, so very casually they were talking. So my
Mm-hmm.
son picked up those words, how he started the
Wow. Mm-hmm.
conversation. So like
Mm-hmm.
we were like, okay, now he's going to pick little, small actions of ours, and he's trying to imitate what my parents are doing. So I think
Mm-hmm.
the parents play a very crucial role because
Yes.
our kids are like, they're like a vase and like we are like a potters and we are going to mold them,
Mm-hmm.
accordingly. So it's very
Accordingly,
important. Yeah,
because they're
it's very
emulating us while they're growing up, and sometimes when we say we can't be bothered, but it's us they're
us,
emulating.
yeah. So every time we point out our kids, don't do this. You are,
Mhm.
getting very rude. But let's look at to ourselves. What are we actually doing? What are we modeling?
Exactly.
And then let's
Exactly.
pinpoint our kids because, like nowadays, when I like go down to pick my son from the school, I see parents getting chips packets for them. Just to show their love, and
Mhm.
kids are, happily having on the back seat of the car, they are eating chips and everything. And the moment the parents come to pick, kids are pulling out the mobile phone, they're getting into mobile phone, and I was really shocked that the first grade child is doing such act. I mean, it's totally its parents' responsibility, what is good for them, what is not good for them, just to
Right.
take care. Let your child understand what are healthy things, what are healthy stuff to eat. I
Mhm.
seriously wonder where are we lacking. I mean, the awareness has to be there in the parents.
And even you said that, and I was thinking about that while you were talking. And even with that, we too have to be careful, because like our children really, really emulates us, because and then it can become problematic as well. Because for example, you spoke about eating well. And
Yeah,
that is relative, because even some of us, we say we don't eat this, we don't eat that, but eating well means that you have a balanced meal.
yeah.
Now, my child, for example, is a picky eater because of the things that I eat. So he's
Okay.
emulating me. So he would say, "Oh, I don't eat this," or without even trying it. "Oh, I don't
Yeah,
want
same
this.
here.
I don't need
Yeah,
this." And then he would surprise some when he's eating the vegetables that other children don't want. And he would go to the supermarket and he would say, "No, mommy, I don't want that. That is too sweet." That he would surprise them. So we, even in what we do, because they're still children, they're still learning about their environment, their taste buds are still developing. We, ha-
development.
we can create a problem where, let's say we want the child to stay with the aunt. The aunt is calling, "Oh, I don't know how to feed your child because your child is so picky in eating." So we have to have that kind of balance. It's kind of coincidental that you said it, because I was thinking it to share with you about how the things that we do and how we raise our children. Sometimes we have to have a little leeway for them to enjoy
Absolutely,
certain
yeah.
things. um, but I want to come back to another question. But before the question, I'm sure you would have seen on social media, because I've seen a lot of videos, but I decided not to share them here, for many reasons. But I'm sure you would see many videos on different videos on the social media, various social media platform, where children are being facetious, rude, and the parent is videoing and they're laughing. They're using obscene language, and
Absolutely.
this is a 2 3 year old, and they think it is cute. They are dancing, moving their bodies in certain ways that it is not childlike, and it's the parents who are videoing and they're laughing. What is
Laughing, yeah. I think, yeah. If I tell Sherlyn, few days back, I came across with a similar situation on Instagram. There were
Mhm.
parents. There was one song. I think those lyrics were not actually matching up, and the child was, enacting on those lyrics. And yes, everybody told the parents everything. Few were, pressing the heart button on that. They were encouraging, they were enjoying, but let us
Mhm.
understand, I think somewhere down the line we are losing, our child is losing innocence, that
Exactly.
innocence. Yeah.
Exactly.
So let us understand, let him not be, act like an adult when he's just a toddler, we are making
Mhm.
him an act. And I think this is really disheartening just for, as you are an influencer or you have a good number of people or follower, just to entertain those crowd, you're playing with your child, but you're playing with your child emotions, and this is very disheartening. It's not now, maybe 5 or 10, 15 years down the line when the child has grown up, he will feel that, this facade, the entire world, it's not about reality, it's all about how we imitate, he will not be
Mhm.
real anymore. He's going to enact, he'll be more of people pleaser because he thinks that's how people are going to like me if I'm able to please people. And this is the very sad reality. I think it's very high time when parents should actually understand, let's not play with the kids emotions, or the development. They're still growing and learning and trying to absorb from the environment, though we know, like, in this techie world everything is so, easily able to distract our kids. They are not too sure.
Exactly.
They feel like everything they can get it on Google. Like, they have
Mhm.
the mindset, each and every answers are available on the. Why should we go to our parents? Let us understand, we parents have that heart connection, which cannot be
Mhm.
given by the Google. So let's build
Mhm.
this heart connection with our kids, hold their hand, let them know that, like, whenever you feel, distracted, or you are confused, you can come back to us with your query. We are open, anytime, whether it's midnight, anything is disturbing you, You can come back. We are there to you. Mommy, daddy are there to help you. These little conversations help our kids, to understand. Once they grow up, especially this teenager time, that is very sensitive time for our kids, they easily get influenced by friends, by everything surrounding them. And they have lot of, confusions in their mind, as their bodies are changing, biological changes are happening. Let them make them aware. Let's communicate openly in a friendly manner. Let them know if you are having any issues, problem, you can come back to us. We are there to help you. Don't get distracted because most of the time the answer on Googles are not correct. It's just a machine, so we
Mhm.
need to have these open conversations, and it's very important how we are, portraying our kids on social media because just making them an act and having good followers. Let your child be real, and you also be a real parent. That's what I wanted to share with the viewers.
You've said it all, and I share your sentiments. I agree with you totally because tomorrow that child is going to be an adult, or before the adult, a teenager, an adolescent, and you will
Absolutely,
still have to be dealing with that teenager, that adolescence, and then the behavior that you allow the child to be a part of, to be involved in now, will affect them then, and then it's going to be way too late to fix it. It's going to be too late
absolutely,
because you encouraged it. And so at this time, when they're now older, that's the time you decide to fix it. It's going to be too late. So we
too
want to
late.
start from the beginning, to impress upon our child positive behavior, a good environment, and separate adult type content from child like type content, and ensure that you don't confuse the two. But it's being confused
Absolutely.
and crossed, and everything is just mixed up in the pot. But you spoke now about parenting, and how parents are, raising their children. And I want to talk now about parenting style. Let me put something up on the screen here and ask for your expertise. So, parenting styles, does it really matter?
Yeah. So, should I cover each style, in detail? Let's go with through examples. So, when we talk about authoritarian style, let's start with the authoritarian. So,
Mhm,
it's like a parent-driven, as very well written on over the screen, So, over
mhm,
here, the parents take the lead, He feel like it's going to be on my way, everything, He's
mhm, mhm,
commanding. The parent over here is quite commanding. He's not worried about how my kids is going, not at all empathizing, and
mhm,
it's like it's my way all the way, quite
mhm,
disciplined way. He want the child to be very disciplined, people pleasing, and very strict. He want the result, good grade, good marks, and everything. So over here, what happened? The child usually is a very withdrawn child. He knows like my parents are not going to listen to me, so it's he kept on suppressing his emotions, his feeling, everything inside, deep inside. And what happened over here, though in authoritarian most of the parents are able to get the good goals, if the child make the child successful, because based on the peer based parenting, if we say, it's more of
mhm,
that. So over here, what happened? No doubt the child has grown up, he has become successful, but in most of the cases, the child lacks self-confidence, He doesn't love
mhm,
himself, He haven't
mhm,
seen himself doing, that, not able to express his view. He's very quiet, introvert. And the most importantly over here, the child goes through a lot of emotional turmoil. The
mhm,
child is not that emotionally healthy. There are high chances the child might suffer from anxieties and depression because his
mhm,
parents are not understanding him. So I would request parents not to follow this style of parenting because somewhere down the line you are not able to build up a healthy parent-child bonding. It's only a
correct.
one way. You are commanding and you want You are just a bossy and you want your child to, enact it, just like, on your command. So I think that's not the healthy way we should raise our kids. When we talk about authoritative parenting, it is the best combination, best style of parenting recommended by the researchers. And they show that over here, the parent understand the child's need, they work together. If a child has a problem, the parents is helping him, helping
Mm-hmm.
them, to understand how they can overcome. They're not rescuing, but yes, they are making the kids understand. They're teaching them. And over
Mm-hmm.
here, they have an open communication anytime, anyway. The child is feeling sad or, he's stuck somewhere. He knows where to go. He will come back to his parents. He's not going to get lost among his friends or, with the influencers around the world. So I think this
Mm-hmm.
is the best combination. And yes, over here the parent do have clear set of rules. They have clear boundary, and the most important is they communicate that to the child. Okay, we are going to
Right.
follow these set of rules. So that clarity is there in this style of parenting. So authoritative is the best combination, I say. The second, third come is permissive parenting style, and over here it is more of a children driven. Maybe both
Right.
the parents are working, they are busy with their life, the child is taking care, or he's going through all his way, he's just figuring it out. And over here, yes, parents rescue the child when it is, any serious problem is there, when they feel
Mm-hmm.
that, that time the parents come and rescue the child. And but yes, over here the child is, driving his car on his own. So I
Right.
think the child may be lost. He may be influenced by a lot of his peer pressure, and he may go through a lot of emotional challenges also because he don't have somebody. Once he's back home, he wants somebody to share his feelings, and maybe he's more dependent on his friends and everybody. So there,
Mm-hmm.
from over there, there are high chance the child can get misguided. And when we
Mm-hmm.
talk about last, neglectful parenting, it is like we are totally absent from the child's life. And like it's all about, very indifferent. And, we just feel, okay, let the child do whatever he feels like doing. We are giving him too much of space. And, we are also enjoying our life. Let the child enjoy his life. So it's like more about its parent is going in this direction and the child is going in the opposite direction. So over here also a child will be, misleaded. He could be misguided, everything. And sometimes what happens is like there are certain emotions, we feel that let the child figure out. But trust me, our kids are still developing and growing. If we talk about the teenager, I still feel yes, he need the parent. When I
Mm-hmm.
still like what do the parents feel, when the child is adult, he gets married, our job is done. No, I think
No,
till
no.
the last breath, you have that relationship, No doubt if you get old, no doubt if your son gets 60-year-old, he can come back to you anytime. That's the power of love, and that is parenting. So let us
Mm-hmm.
understand it is a lifelong bond which we are going to build with our kids, and it's not like, let them be adult, let them get settled, our job is done. No, you have to build the relationship with the grandchildren also, and that's the wonderful life, that's the wonderful part of parenting that you're going to enjoy.
Brilliant. Thank you so very much for bringing it through because many of us as parents, we believe that, and let me put up that information here. We believe that the authoritative style is the best style where we're just,
Yeah,
oh, we're the parents, you're the children, listen to us, and that's it. You're told be seen but not be heard. Yeah, be
yeah,
quiet. If you tell a child to stop doing something while this child is exploring his or her environment, and you keep telling the child don't do this, and you keep punishing the child, sending the child to the naughty corner, whatever it is, and you keep telling the child don't do this, and you recognize that the child keeps doing it, it means that you need to change your style because the child is not
absolutely.
connecting with what you're saying at all. But we believe that we're parents and we should not need to explain. And you're saying that the authoritarian rather, the second one, at the bottom here, is the
Yeah,
best style. And that is where you involve the child. You would explain, okay, do not do this because, do not say this because. So you're giving explanation, and you're also allowing the child to express his or her feelings in the same
feelings. Yeah.
process. Boy, parenting. I wish they had a book. I wish they had a book, a manual, but I mean, that manual would be
Yeah, there are a
infinitely.
lot of manual. I think like nowadays we have a lot of experts who have worked on it. But trust me, Shirley, as per my experience, the way I think every child is different. You know,
And
you
there's not a manual that can tell you how to
yeah, there
raise
are no
your
you
child.
yeah for your
Yeah,
child. It's everything like we have to figure it out. What is the best combination? How does both of us can sail smoothly in the same boat? So it's more about
exactly.
exploring, learning, unlearning, relearning. So it's a wonderful journey. And I think over here, along with the child, its parent development is also happening. If you look at it the other way around, if I see I got a privilege, I really feel blessed. I'm just curious to learn day in and day out, learn more about why does the child behavior, child psychology, how does it work,
Mhm,
why parents are behaving so. So there are a
mhm,
lot many things, lot many factors that is influencing parenting styles also. I tell you,
mhm,
apart from this four grid, most of the time parents are influenced. The societal pressure is constantly bugging in the head into our minds. We all want society to look at us. Oh, this is a perfect family. They have a
yes,
perfect child. Yeah. So
yes.
let us understand we are not here to please anybody. Just be a real one. It's okay. One day, one of my clients told me, "Oh, you are such a blessed mother. Your child might be so sincere, so obedient." I said, "Come and look at me. Even I'm dealing with my son. It's not like if I'm a parent coach, I have a perfect child.
Mhm,
My child
mhm,
also it's test my limits day in and day out, and then I feel okay. Let me see how do I handle this? How do I learn this?
mhm.
How can I apply my learning?" And trust me, Shirley, it's almost 1 year I applied all my learning whenever I had a hard time, and I can see the beautiful results.
Mhm,
But it
mhm.
requires a lot of patience. It
A
requires
lot
a
of
lot of patience.
patience.
Yeah.
Mhm. A
So
lot of
the one thing which I want to share with the viewer is don't worry what the society is going to say about you. Just enjoy each and every day. It's okay if your child throw tantrums in public. He's a child. Let understand he don't have the maybe sometimes child lacks it's they don't have proper words to express the feelings. The
Mhm,
emotions. So
mhm,
that is also one side of the story. So it's okay. Don't feel guilt about it. It's okay. We are there for our child. We can guide them. We can give them more vocabs, how to be expressive, especially with the toddlers, how they can communicate in a healthy way and show them yes, better. If you want something like what is the acceptable way, don't do all this stuff. You can come to me and talk to me that mama I want this instead of throwing tantrums and all. So let's
mhm.
communicate with our kids, and that's how they're going to learn.
And that will change the script entirely. But let me ask you, should parents be responsible for their children's actions?
Yeah. So over here, I would like to say, like when you talk about it, depend upon face to face. If we talk about toddlers, yes, parents play a very crucial role because they're developing, growing. If they're doing something wrong, it's our job to guide them. To stop them. That this is not true. Suppose nowadays a lot of child have that hitting habits. In school they go, they hit the other child, and sometimes parents cover up the child. It's okay, my son did it. They
Mhm,
take support of the child. Let us understand what is wrong and what
mhm,
is right. So it's
mhm,
like all the ethics and values which we inculcate in our families must be passed on to our kids. Like, nowadays, and once the child know that my parents is taking my side, he's on my side, he will keep on committing, the
you will.
wrong. Yeah, so I think parents play a very crucial role. But yes, I have also seen parents who were fully committed, but once the team grown up, they are more prone towards, peer pressure and everything. So over
Mm-hmm.
here also, it's very important that your teen should know that yes, that open communication has to be there. What is right and wrong? Because especially in school, if you see, like I'm not sure about over there, but yes, nowadays a lot of drugs this
It's the
dealings
same.
are going on.
It's the
Yeah,
same. It's the
though it
same.
is not openly, but yes, somewhere down the line in the big schools and everywhere, our kids are getting misleaded. And what we happen, we parents keep mum on this because we feel let's not tell our kids about all this thing. But trust me, he's getting all this knowledge from his friends and everywhere. So it's our job, our responsibility to openly communicate that, my dear child, it might happen that your friend might pressurize you, and you may feel that,
Exactly.
the kid might also have that FOMO, fear of missing out. I don't want to miss on my friend's group. So let them understand that these are our ethics. It's okay. Share your own stories, share some learning, because that's how our kids are going to learn. Make them aware about, all the digital trap also, cybercrime also, how, the information can be leaked on the via internet, because they're too naive on this. They feel like the world is very friendly, but it is
Pretty and
not.
beautiful, and everything is calm like a lamb, and the world
Yeah,
is colorful and nothing wrong will
colorful.
happen. And when you try to tell them, like when I try to talk to my son, and I would say to him, don't do that, don't go here because of mommy, you're so overprotected. People are not all that bad. They're in a different world of their own, poor little things. And it's our responsibility to guide them. We have to build on their emotions, ensure that they are grounded, because like you said, peer pressure is there. And
There,
if we
it's
don't start
lot.
from the beginning, I share an example. I bought a school shoe for my son, a pair of
Okay.
shoes. And he it's a school shoes. I'm not buying a school shoes for glim and glitter, and it's a school shoes. It's a strong shoe that will serve him for the school term. And he went to school, and they kept on bugging him about the shoe. Oh, your shoe is ugly. And I'm talking about, at the time, he was about 4 or 5, somewhere there. And I went to pick him up from school one evening, and the teacher called me to the classroom and said to me, what do you tell your son? I'm like, what do you mean? She said, well, the children always telling him about his shoe. And I was surprised one afternoon. I heard him saying to a child, I know my shoes is ugly. It's a school shoes. School shoes were not meant to be pretty. It's okay. And I just laughed. I said to her, it's what you tell them, is how you grow them, and then they emulate you. So if you are that person who is very materialistic, who takes these things into consideration, oh, I need to look a particular way, keeping up with the Joneses, then they are going to do just that. But when you show them the true essence of life and let them understand the purpose of things in their life, and what is not that important, then she was just taken aback. She was just taken aback. So you have to build on those things, because from early, because like you said, when they become teenagers, at that point when parents decide to detach themselves, yeah, they're no
Yeah.
teenagers. So I am now free. That is
Yeah, and but let us understand that is the time when a child needs more, they
yes,
need
it's
more of your hand
crucial.
holding.
Mhm. Because of the elements in their environment. They're going to schools,
Absolutely.
they're going to movies with their friends, they're in little social pockets. You have to be there for them, because that is the time that that will either make or break them.
Break them.
So you're never
Absolutely.
free. As old as I am, if I'm going through a troubled time and I need a shoulder to cry on, I'm going back home. You're never free. You're there as a parent. But tell me a little bit, where can we're winding up now, and for parents who want to hear more, where can they find you? How do they find you to get connected with what you do and your programs?
Absolutely. So they can check my website. We'll share it in the comment box or maybe in
Mhm,
the description. It's
mhm,
www.jyotisingparentcoach.com. And over
mhm.
there, they can connect with me. I take one-on-one sessions on parenting. If you have any parenting challenge, you all can connect with me. My first call is free for all the parents because I think
Mhm.
that's how we, once you come to me, you pour your feelings, pour your emotions, and then you can we can work out together, you know. So my
Thank
first
you
call is
so very much. So,
absolutely
hold on, Jyoti. Thank you. So, parents who are watching, do you hear that? Did you hear that? The first call to her is free, and we're going to share the information in the chat box. So, use it up. Use it up. If you need it, use it. The first call is free, courtesy of the Nightcap program, the Design to Inspire show right here on the YouTube channel. All right, so I had to say that do not stand behind your walls or your curtains or whatever it is that you're standing behind, wanting to portray a perfect family. If you need help, seek it. And the first call
absolutely.
is free. Yes.
Yeah, and they can also join my WhatsApp group. I have a WhatsApp group and a Facebook group on the same name, Enlightened Parenting Hub, wherein I
Mhm.
daily share a post on, you know, regarding parenting. It's a
Right.
little reminder daily how we can do it. And trust me, my all the members have seen a tremendous change in their, you know, parenting life. So you can check a lot of testimonial on my website also how it is impacting people around the world are the part of this community, and it's not like something I'm sharing my knowledge. It's like everyone, each one out here is sharing their experience, their learning, and together we are growing, because
Exactly.
parenting is all about learning, you know, learning from the experiences, learning together, holding hands together. Because I have seen a lot of mothers, especially new mothers, they go through, you know, a lot of postpartum depressions and all, because it's a totally entire new phase for them, you know. So when
Mhm.
such community, such parents, we all come together, help them to overcome those emotions, because it's just a phase, you know, for some time. And once it is gone, you know, you can get again, come back to your me time and everything. So I think it's very important to have such community wherein all parents are connected. We all
Mhm.
can share our feelings, our emotions, and the best part is we are not going to judge anybody over
Exactly.
here, because
Yeah.
the world out here is sitting there to judge us. You know, oh, you are not a good mom. You are a working mom. You are not giving time to your son. Believe me, Sherlyn, I have met n number of people. I mean, they are like judging you just on the way you are working. If I'm working, they will judge me. Oh, that's why his child is acting like this in a public place. So, you know, the world out there is to judge you. Forget about the world. Just think about you and your family, because that matters the most.
Mm. Oh, powerful. Thank you so very much, Jyoti. I mean, I have been enlightened, and of
Thank you
course,
so much.
yeah, very enlightened. And I share your perspective. This is something, but because I share the perspectives that you own. And it is good to share with the community that, hey, there is another way. Hey, you can do this, but it's going to take
Absolutely.
some skills, and we cannot forget patience. Patience is the most important component of the engagement process with your child or children. Patience, because they're going to test you, they're going to nag you, they're going to try you, they're going to do all these things, and know that they're not doing it on purpose. They're children, they're exploring, they're trying, and they're going to be tricky too, because they want to know what will work, so they'll give you the puppy face. Mom, I need a
Absolutely.
sweet. And if you react, then they're always going to do that. So every time they need a
Absolutely.
sweet, you're going to get a puppy face, because you taught them that the puppy face will enable the sweet that day. You understand what I'm saying? So you as a parent, you're going to be tried, you're going to be tested. So you have to have that patience. It's not easy. We're not saying that it's easy, but it can be done. And if you need
Ab-
help, we are going to be sharing Jyoti's credentials in the chat box, and you can reach out to her. You can also join the WhatsApp group. And listen, it doesn't matter where you are, because already she shared some experiences. It is global, right? So it's not because she's in India. So because she's in India, her children or the children in India behave a different way. It's the same
Same.
thing, right? So you can reach out to her, and get the help that you need, and do not pretend. The pretense will not work. Pretending that you have a perfect family will further break down the family structure. So if you need that assistance, reach out to her. Jyoti, any final thoughts before we disengage?
Yeah. So finally, as we are coming to the end of the show, I would just like to share one message to all the parents out here. We all are chasing, to be a perfect parent, to be a perfect mother. I think it's okay to be imperfect sometime. And I think that's what our child is also modeling, if we constantly show them, you have to be good this, good in grades, good in everything, good in sports. But what if a child fails in one thing? Suppose if he's not good at sports, he will see himself as a failure, you know. So it's very important to communicate to a child that it's okay. We never fail in life. We always learn in our life. And I think that is something which we need to communicate to a child, and we need to adapt in our own life also. So parents, please take care of yourself, because self-care is must in parenting. When your emotional cup is full, you are able to pour it out to your kids and to your family. So take care of yourself, and thank you so much, Sherlyn, for this wonderful evening. I really loved coming to your show, expressing my thoughts, expressing my view, and it's like I'm connecting to my soul sister. So thank you so much, Gia. I really loved
Thank you
it.
for accepting, and we will keep the connection, and we will keep discussing, and we will
Absolutely.
keep talking behind the scene. All right. Thank you, Jyoti. And there you have it. Another program right here on the Design to Inspire channel with your host, Charlene Clark Cura, on the Nightcap Show. Please do not miss next week's show. You might be missing something great. So stay tuned as usual, as we say, be inspired.